turning empty commercial buildings into modern residential flats. And he's only 3 years in. Let's go!
I be on top car, I be on job, and I put it on God, they ain't nobody stopping me. Do the thing and it gets done properly, known for my honesty, not so much for my money.
We bought what was an old Barclays bank, and we've converted it now and got planning for 6 new units. We paid 1.27 million for the site. The total GDV of this site should be about 4 million. Parking's a restriction, so access, waste removal, all these things are challenges. That's where we go above and beyond, which you've got to do in this game to make profit.
Yeah.
Non-stop, drop fire, but I don't drop, that's why every boy, man, a man's on top. I was in a trap with a stacky, them boy, they can't rap tacky.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. Today we are on our way to visit Stuart Wyeth, the founder of SW Homes in Twickenham, and his strategy is to repurpose commercial buildings into residential flats for rental. Let's go! Hey Stuart.
Parish, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming.
It.
Yeah, welcome to sunny Twickenham.
Yeah.
So we're looking at our latest scheme, which is it's a existing 3-floor building. We've got 6 units going upstairs, and we've got a new dentist on the ground floor. So
cool. Yeah, let's go and have a look.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, good to finally meet you. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while, so
absolutely.
Yeah, glad it's finally happened.
Definitely. Let's give you one of those.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, what are we looking at here?
So we currently walk through the dentist entrance. So we've got a pre-let agreed with a commercial unit downstairs, and we've got a separate access which we'll have a look at, which takes us up to the floors above. We bought what was an old Barclays bank, so the floors at the top weren't used, and we've converted it now and got planning for 6 new units and a dentist on this floor.
So before we do the walk around, can you tell us what your story is? Because I know you've recently made the transition into property development.
Yeah, that's it.
You've not been doing it for too long, have you?
5 years now, which does feel like a drop in the ocean. It
is 5 years.
Yeah, since COVID really was when we first started.
Okay.
But prior to that, I've been in 20 odd years in residential development, so loft conversions predominantly. I did have a 5-year stint where I was doing sort of full house refurbishments, sort of £1.5 million contracts, so I wasn't scared to take some big projects on. But when COVID hit, I had about 80 contractors who worked for us, and they fell through the gaps in terms of furlough schemes or not being able to earn. So that pushed us into borrowing some money, buying a first HMO, and I could then throw, with safety and masks, but I could throw 20 boys on it and we could get it done in like sort of 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And that was the start of this journey really, and we found we were pretty good, we were quite efficient, and the money we can save by doing a lot of it in-house using multi-skilled trades has made the bigger stuff a bit more attractive for us. So yeah,
So you had a loft building company?
Yeah. So yeah, a company called Sky Lofts, set that up in 2013. Prior to that, I was 7 years at another loft company, and prior to that, 2 years at a very small loft company. So I had a lot of experience of working on building projects.
And you've got your own team there?
Yeah, so we've got 12 loft fitting teams who are still operating. We still do about 80 lofts a year, so we've still got quite a lot of customers and a business to manage there.
Yeah.
But what we've actually built in the background is a side business, which is the development side, where we've got about 20 full-time guys now who work for us, and we sort of move them from project to project.
Yeah, when you made that transition into property development, how did you learn about property development, like the strategies, finance side?
The
planning.
The HMO model was honestly from YouTube, understanding what other people were doing. I was quite good at sort of space planning and working out what type of buildings to buy to make that strategy work. And then I found a course online, which was about an 8-week course, just understanding Class MA and the sort of planning legal perspectives of what that offers to developers. And once the penny dropped and we understood what building to buy, we could apply those rules to more buildings. So that's really where it's catapulted us.
Okay. Yeah, so that learning process has sort of fast-tracked your journey a bit.
100%, yeah. Well, I think the planning regulations and actually some councils trying to make it easier, or government trying to make it easier for redundant buildings to be converted. Yeah. On the surface looks quite straightforward, but there is a lot of learnings underneath that, but that gives you the confidence to at least buy something. I didn't want to buy a big building that's going to sit vacant and empty for 20 years. You need to have some strategy.
Just on that note, I totally agree, and like we're doing similar things as well with the commercial to resi conversions under Class MA. But yeah, no, I get it. Like if you don't know what you're doing, then there's a lot that can go wrong.
A lot of risk, yeah.
A lot of risk, yeah. So how long have you been doing conversions for?
Conversions, I mean, we've done HMOs from 2020, and
Yeah.
then after about doing 4 of them quite quickly, about a year and a half, we then went into commercial to resi around 2022.
So 3 years.
3 years, yeah. So
Wow.
we've done a 9-unit scheme, then done 7 2-bed unit scheme, then done 18 units, and now we're here doing 6.
Wow.
So
impressive.
yeah, it's
really good.
growing quite quickly.
Yeah. So do you think commercial conversion opportunities, like on a smaller scale, not this scale, but on a smaller scale, would be a good stepping stone for, let's say, new developers who are already doing smaller domestic sized projects, but wanting to take that next step up?
I think there's a cap. It depends on your experience and how confident you are in the building side of things. If you've got building experience, then running sort of 3, 4, 5 unit scheme, you won't struggle. If you've got no building experience, I don't know what you're looking at, it opens up such a can of worms when you do conversions that you want to have your best foot forward when you're pricing these things. If you price it and overpay for it and then you run into all these problems, it will cost you quite a lot to get yourself out of them. But yeah, having a smaller scheme where there's only 2 flats, you're eliminating the risk by running a slightly smaller scheme. So that's what I would suggest.
Okay. And so, like you've got multiple projects on the go, conversion type of projects. So where do you find your conversion opportunities?
Well, we do a lot of advertising outside our sites, like a lot of people do, but we've actually leveraged the social media platform as much as we can. So doing things like this, where your name's spread, people sort of understand the buildings you're looking for, and very often, almost weekly, we get a new site sent to us by other land sources or people who have got more time to say, look,
Sure.
I think you might be interested in this. In fact, this one come from social media.
Did
so
it?
Someone didn't perform over
Okay.
a 6-week exclusivity.
So there you go, the power of social media.
Oh, unbelievable! It's so powerful, and we've raised quite a lot of funds through social media as well. But
Okay.
ultimately, we found this on a Wednesday. I viewed it on a Thursday. We had a lender, so we had an equity partner geared up on the Friday, and we'd done the deal on a Saturday, and I was at a 60th birthday party. So the whole thing happened quite quickly.
Wow.
But it was either we performed and we said we'd commit, or it went to auction.
Yeah.
And because of the location, it was a no-brainer for us, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a great location, yeah. Okay, well, shall we have a little walk around?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's close this up.
Okay. Okay, so tell us about this one. So the ground floor is going to remain as commercial?
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
And the floors upstairs are all resi. So we had the 2 doors, which was really handy actually with Richmond Council, because if we didn't have 2 access points, it would have been very difficult to get the resi upstairs, just by the way they played the planning rules with us. So that was a bit of a stroke of luck. But effectively, because we're on Article 4 on this road,
Right.
permitted development is not applicable
Allowed, yeah.
for this building. So we had to go for full planning, which meant that, which is right as well, we were right in the middle of the high street. They don't want this to be turned into a full block of flats. It would just ruin the community feel. So yeah, we was always going to have it as a commercial premises down here. Saying that, we didn't know what tenant we were going to have, so we went onto the market, and the first viewer come in, offered us full asking price on a 15-year lease, and they're a dentist practice. We're now in a pre-let into a pre-let with a long stop of around 6 months for us to hand this over. At the moment, as you can see, we're using it for
great.
storage,
Yeah.
but it has helped us with our development finance and with our exit finance.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they'll be very happy here and very successful. But they've got about 6 booths, so we've walked into
great,
their
yeah.
reception area, and then we've got booths all around the basement. They've got. We just put access in at the rear for them to have their own sort of bin stores and bits and bobs out the rear.
How did you find them? How did you find this tenant?
So we went out to an online called Credo Group, and they went out to a network of people looking in the area, and they would then go to their agents, and they all split fees and stuff. But effectively, we had about 10 people interested, and the first viewer come in said, "We'll ask them," and because it was a suitable tenant, not antisocial, going to sort of benefit the building. We just sort of, and we like the guy, and yeah, it's a cash purchase. He's going to spend about 600 grand down here of his own cash to set everything up. So it's quite a lot of money he's going to plough into it.
So you're handing it as shell and core?
Shell and core, yeah. We're going to do some of the structural bits, and there's a bit of installation. We want to basically make sure the fabric of the building's done. We're going to put hangers in on the ceiling so we can give him the load that he can hang anything from the ceiling, and that's it. And we'll hand it to him. We've ripped out the basement. He asked us to take the 2 vault doors off downstairs because they're in the basement. They won't really cause us a major issue. But
right, because this was a former bank, right? So there was a safe down there.
Yeah.
The dentist is going to take the ground floor in the basement.
Yep.
As part of his lease, and it's a 15-year lease.
15-year lease, yeah.
Okay.
10-year break. Which they're not
So that
gonna
must have
break.
increased the value of the whole scheme?
Yeah, so we paid 1.27 million for the site, and we think the valuation now with them in place, once they've had their 6-month rent-free period, it should add about 1.25 to the ground floor, and then we've got the flats upstairs. So the total GDV of this site should be about 4 million.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing, isn't it?
We're in for about 3 once we're done.
Yeah.
If we build fast enough.
Okay.
And well enough.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's amazing. On the upstairs, there's six flats?
Yeah, 2 on each floor.
Yeah.
I'll show on the plans actually.
Yeah, okay,
So
cool.
on here we've got the ground
That's
floor.
the ground floor, right?
Yes, there's the ground floor with the basement. There's the door at the rear, which we'll just poke our heads out, but we've got a new staircase access for the flats above, because obviously once the staircase is totally secluded, then there's no way to get to the rear unless you walk right around the block. So we've managed to get planning for a new doorway on the first floor, so you can walk out and then down the new iron staircase to the bins and the bikes. And there's the new door, which has got dedicated service and waste for the dentist, and then the staircase is going to remain down to the basement. And as we go upstairs, so we're walking up this new staircase.
Yep.
Pull that off. We then.
So that's just the resi entrance.
Just going to tie that back in. Hold on, yeah, perfect. So yeah, as we come up the staircase, this is the second floor. First floor's got a new entrance here into that passageway, and as you go up the stairs onto the second floor, we've got a 1 bed at the front, benefiting from the views from the front, which is a lot nicer with these trees and stuff. And then you've got another 2-bed flat here, 2 bedrooms at the rear as you come through, bathroom, and then nice living room, kitchen here. So it sort of replicates up. So we've got 2 beds, and then in the loft we've got 2 1 beds because of the lack of space at the rear where the dormers need to go.
Yeah. Okay. It's great, isn't it? You've
Nice
managed
clean
to.
scheme.
Yeah, you've managed to squeeze in as much as you can there. So.
Yeah, we were lucky in the loft. As we look, you'll see all the angles, and I think
Yeah.
that's really where we added a bit of extra value. Is we were so close to the 50 square metre London plan because it's full planning. We were like literally half a square metre off, so we were lucky enough to get 2 1 beds. If our exit was going to take into a 3 or 4 bed HMO and have them rented separately, which wouldn't have helped with the GDV, but would have certainly helped with the cash flow. And we're still in 2 minds whether we're going to sell this building or hold all 6. Everything we've done so far we've kept, which we would like to, because most of the developers I spoke to at UK Reef and Mippin, they were like, God, if I could have turned back time and held at least half of my stock, they'd be a lot wealthier than they were today. So that's sort of our thinking.
What's the reason? Because the yield?
Just the capital appreciation. Yeah, they're just never going to stop printing money, and if they keep printing money, assets are going to increase. But once you've done the work, you've done it in perpetuity. The money will increase, the value will go up without having to do any extra work. Where we do make a lot of our money in the development piece. So if we sell, we can effectively start buying more of the sites with our own cash. But I quite enjoy the journey with equity partners really, because it sort of keeps you sharp. You don't want to waste the money. You need to make sure you're delivering on all sections, including the build. So for now, while we've got a load of energy, we'll potentially keep using equity partners. But in the future, we might sell some and do them ourselves.
So yeah, you're funding. That was going to be my next question. So you're funding these using investors.
Yep. So yeah, again through social media, explaining our journey and making sure we don't sugarcoat it. There's so many people out there who go, this is a real difficult industry to get into, and to make profit on the construction piece and the development piece is very challenging if you don't know what you're doing. So as we grow, and we're slowly documenting it digitally online, and people follow the journey. And then when we do get asked for £1 million for a site we found, which we're really excited with, we often get quite a few people sort of DM us through social media, Instagram, saying, I'm interested, let's talk. And we've raised, about 4 million so far through social media. So
how many different investors do you work with?
I've got four that I use, that we're sort of recycling their cash out of other deals and into new deals.
Okay, that's brilliant.
So, this is the second investment with this investor. It's good. But we might to release some of his cash, because the last 18 months have been quite difficult. In terms of values, everyone's quantitative tightening has meant that values haven't gone as high as people wanted to. So we are considering keeping both of them just for like 3 or 4 years, because if you can make 5% in the bank, why would someone buy a commercial building that's a build to rent at 5.5? It just makes more money to keep their money in the bank. Where if rates come down again, then these will become quite an attractive asset to hold or to sell. But now isn't the right time to sell them, in our opinion.
So this used to be the old vault, safe. All right. Look how thick these walls are.
Yeah, and it was precast, so they would have taken the old floor deck out, built this. I think it's like quad brick, like 4 quad brick, and then they would have put a concrete reinforced roof on top to stop people from breaking in.
What was the process of getting rid of this big metal door?
We paid our demo team quite a lot of money to come in and remove it. So actually the tenant asked us to remove both doors. There was another one here, which was the old one.
Yeah.
So they come in, they sort of tent up the room, use iron oxide and sort of melt out the door. Because it looks like a big steel concrete door, but I've actually got another photo which I'll send you, and you open it up, there's just all cogs and bolts inside. So once you've sort of burnt everything off, you can undo it and take it apart. But yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
Was it a big cost?
About $5,500 for both of them to be removed.
Okay.
So
and you've got other bank buildings where you removed the safe completely, the whole safe rooms?
On the first floor, on the ground floor at Farnborough, it was a 1960s ring beam construction, so like an old 1960s building. And when they done the concrete frame, they would have put the first floor in and then craned the blocks on, but the blocks are all like chain link. And then as it's over connected, they put rods in and then put concrete in on all 6 sides. So you're basically taking a concrete reinforced chain safe out. Yeah. I got a fixed price with the same demo team who done this.
Okay.
And they priced me like $4,500 to remove it. It took them like 4 weeks.
For that one?
For that one at Farnborough, yeah. So they probably charged me an extra $1,000 on these doors, but it is what it is. No, they're a good guy. They ripped the whole building out for us as well on a fixed price contract. So I like to go in and strip the whole thing back, so then we can see what we need to do. Yeah.
But I would have thought it would cost more to remove the whole.
Yeah, it should cost about $25,000.
Yeah.
But I got a fixed price for 4 to remove the whole thing, which was as part of the price.
Yeah.
So it's $60,000 to remove the vault, and to move the whole.
So normally it's what, like
about $25,000.
$25,000 to remove the door and the
concrete box.
The concrete box. Yeah. Right. But yeah, you've got a.
We got a deal because they thought it was going to be a quad brick. This would be a lot easier to take out, this one, because it's been built in situ.
Yeah.
But with the other one, because they sort of craned it all on, and including the roof, they could literally use chain link and then concrete rods. So the whole thing was like sort of welded together. Okay. So if they priced it again, they said it would have been about $25,000.
In your initial appraisal, when you were looking at the site before you purchased it, did you factor in all of that?
When we originally looked at it, we was actually going to make the commercial area quite big and just incorporate it in that. Right. But then when the council said we could reduce the size of the commercial unit, because again that's an Article 4 because it's right in the middle of a town centre, we reduced the ground floor by 75%. So then it made sense for us to remove it. So the value, the extra GDV of getting 3 more flats in the scheme, made sense for us to remove it at whatever the price really. Okay. Cool. So this is obviously the old vault, which there would have been for.
Yeah. And so the dentist's just going to use this as storage?
Storage down here, yeah. They were going to put like a little canteen in it. They might break this out, but that's at their own cost. I think we need to agree that with them. But that was the old lift, the old dumbwaiter for the first floor to bring all the coins down and old gold bars and all the rest of it. And then there was an old boiler up here, and then this is access to the rear, which takes you up to the flat roof at the back.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we've stripped it all out, so we're literally ready to hand this over now for them to do whatever they want.
Yeah. So Stuart, when you pick up the keys to a site like this, where do you start first? Like, what are the steps involved to get going?
So step 1 would be obviously to get a full digital survey done of the building, so we can work out exactly what we're playing with. We've done a hand measure until we've got the site, so we know roughly what we can get. But now it's a case of knowing what we need to strip out, agreeing with someone to come and do a light commercial strip out, get everything on, and then services is the next thing. So once we've got the plans and we're into the council, services can take
utilities.
6 weeks to all your utilities, your water, electricity. Because we were actively trying to get the tenant in here, we gave them all the original services so they could sign that off, but then we need to bring all our new services in. So this is going to be effectively our service channel up the building, which we've pre-built, and then we've put the electricity, all the rifle board, and the water is all in there ready to go straight upstairs. So that's all done, because what we didn't want to do is sign a pre-let and then have to wait 6 months, a year, things that are outside of our control before we and then hit on penalties with the tenant down here. So having a commercial or mixed-use building does come with a few extra stresses, but we try to eliminate them as best we can, really.
Okay, cool.
So that's all fireboarded, ready just to put that up. They had to redesign one of their booths here a little bit around it, but they were fine with that. And we gave them basically the basement for free. And then that becomes another booth, and they've got toilets and kitchenette downstairs. And then this becomes the entrance to our
So this is the residential entrance.
Yeah, on a nice summer's day. So we're going to put a nice sign up here. It's all marble outside, so another great reason. It's just polished up, very little cost. And the tenant's going to sort the ground floor windows out, and we're going to put new timber windows upstairs.
Okay,
to So yeah, this will be boarded off with our service cupboard.
Yeah. So should we take a look at the first floor, residential? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. It's quite a nice staircase as well. Quite wide.
Yeah, we're keeping this. It's all concrete to this floor.
Yeah.
This is their new stairwell, which will be, they've carved this off now, so we'll have the new steps going up to the door at the back.
This is not concrete though, right? It's just
no, this only is where the staircase
is. Yeah.
This is great for sound and
yeah.
And down.
No, definitely.
New staircase comes up here, onto a new doorway here. So we've got about 4 or 5 steps coming up, and then we've got the new door here into the outside section. Yeah. And then this becomes the single bedroom of the 2 bed at the back.
Okay.
As you come through, I should have brought the plan up with me, but another bedroom here.
Yeah.
We've got a bathroom here, and then this becomes, where this line is here, becomes the living room kitchen of this flat. So decent outlook, nice big windows.
Yeah.
And this becomes the bedroom of the 1-bed flat at the front.
Yeah.
So it's great when you get to this stage, you can sort of see everything, all your timbers. You've got a little bit of rot, nothing crazy, all the structure's done.
Yeah, I guess there's going to be I guess you're going to need some decent sound separation from the commercial to the residential as well. And
there's a whole makeup on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be using Rockwool, excellent product. Stonewall the ceilings, double tack it, hang a new ceiling underneath it, and then everything else is metal. We use MF framing for everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah.
How do you do the construction? Is it's your in-house team, right?
Yeah, so we still package up the plastering, the roofing, scaffolding, some of the second fix stuff if we've got another job to jump onto, but we've sort of built a team of multi-skilled trades. So one minute they can be stripping the roof, building the MF frames, then they're pitching, then they're fitting the kitchens and doing LVT flooring. So they're a great team, but they're expensive. So we need to make sure we've programmed the job sufficiently to get the most out of them. And if it goes well, then we can build sort of 30% below BCIS rates if it goes well, and if it doesn't, then we've got a bit of margin there to play with. So it means that we can buy buildings that we like. You know, I know you shouldn't do an emotional attachment, but my plan with the marketing was buy the best buildings in the prime locations like banks. Yeah. Especially if we're going to hold them, because it doesn't matter how rich or privileged you were in the last 250 years, you never could have bought a building in this position. So we've got another one in Windsor, which is quite good, which is opposite the Windsor Castle. So they're just great. You've got to take them when you can. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so what kind of build cost are you hitting over here, like price per square foot? To build, we're about 157. 157.
157.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Which is good, especially when in an area with £900 a square foot. So.
Yeah. I guess in buildings like this, you're not sure what you're going to get when you start peeling back the layers and stuff as well. And some conversions are easier than others, depending on when the building was originally made. Yeah. But
so this is the building type we wouldn't necessarily go out of our way to buy. So this is our second Victorian property, so we sort of know what we're doing in terms of sound, fire breaks, and risks. But we've worked around as much of the structure as we can. So like this spine wall between them, everything's been positioned around, working around it to try and keep the structure down, try and reclaim and reuse as much of the floor as possible. I mean, these things will have a knock-on effect of, tens of hundreds of thousands if you start getting too creative. So you really want to be a very good space planner to maximise. But we've done really well to get 2 beds and 1 beds on each floor, right up to the square meterage allowance.
Okay.
And they've all got views of the front, which is, very London-esque. The train station's 3 minutes away down the road. Yeah. So it's a good location. You've got the river, just a walk, 2-minute walk down there, and then Richmond's less than a mile walk. So.
Yeah, great location.
Yeah, they should. We've been told if we're going to sell them, the 2 beds we should sell and the 1 beds we should rent, because the 2 beds will sell immediately because there's a school down the road, which is a state school, which is within the 400-metre catchment area. Right. So if I knew that, I might have done them slightly different and gone for some 3 beds. But I think, to be honest, we've got the scheme right, and then we'll sell the 2 beds and then we'll rent the 1 beds, which we've been told again they'll rent really quickly. We've also got a short-term apartment company interested in taking it as well, so they might take all 6. So we're just working through to see if they'll give us a lease that's attractive enough to exit and refinance. And if we can get most of our money out, then we'll present that to our equity partner and see what they think. And if they want to leave sort of 300-400 grand in, which is not a huge amount of money to leave in, if we're getting 6 flats and the capital appreciation with a good tenant, or we'll look at just stabilising the asset, getting everything rented, get the tenant downstairs happy and earning money, and then sell the whole thing as a block to an investment or sovereign wealth fund or someone who wants to buy it.
Yeah. Shall we continue?
Walk through, yeah. So this is the hallway. So there's the bedroom here. Then we've got entrance lobby here, and then we've got little shower room or bathroom here, and then this becomes the kitchen. The interesting thing about this building is it's obviously bulbous shape. So it means that when you're looking at steel, structure, everything is a little bit more complicated than a nice square block. But we've got the capabilities to deal with it. So, I mean, we're in week 1, so ask me that in week 20.
So you've just started the whole strip out and everything. Week 1.
So we're clean site, ready to go. They start going around any more demo. Any more structure needs to be done.
And you think how long will it
6
take?
months.
6 months.
6 month build.
6 months in and out.
We'll be done by October.
Yeah. That's the beauty of these conversion type ones, isn't it? Like it's a quick in and out thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Parking's a restriction, so access, waste removal, all these things are challenges. Scaffolding licenses, tin hat. So what we've done is we've rented a parking space off of a lady off Just Park, round the corner. Found an extra large parking space, which effectively means I get 2 vans on there. And because we've got our guys that come from Farnborough, it's cheaper for me to sort of ship these guys in as a team, and they all know how each other work. And the building our culture is so important to me. But we actually went and bought a 9-person people carrier, fill the van up, and then parking per head is a lot cheaper than actually paying £25 a day for everyone to turn up sporadically. And we can actually use that to shuttle other trades in as well. So the plasters, our roofers, because we work with them all the time, they can go and park a mile and a half away, which is free parking. They can bring their tools here, and then we can shuttle them up and down and spend half an hour with one of our labourers, or one of our semi-skilled guys, and it just means that we're getting bodies here. So that's where we go over above and beyond, which you've got to do in this game to make profit.
You
know, so we can control all these levers, which is important. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
It's good creative thinking. Keeping the costs down.
We'll separate all the waste. We'll get rid of as much as we can for free using our local trades. And because we're doing the lofts, like we're leveraging our plasters, our roofers, we're using them all the time. So if I need to down tools and get them here quickly to keep the build program on schedule, that also helps. Where, you know, if you're working with trades and you're 20% of their work, you don't obviously become a priority. So So we're keeping this staircase?
Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect staircase, isn't it? I love it.
It's great. We're going to do some sort of clever lighting on it as well, and sort of varnish this all up to see.
Again, there's a beauty of buildings like this.
Yeah. So similar shape to the floor below. We had a big elevator in here which we removed, big lift, and you know, it's things like this that we just built our own. Not even seen this yet. So we've got our own toilet facilities, which for the sake of a few £100, you know, you're not spending plumbing your own toilet.
Yeah, definitely.
So this was the old lift, which had all the gubbins at the top here, just to get staff to the first floor. That's obviously the second floor, so slightly different window arrangement. And it's the same layout again, living room in here, bedroom here.
Okay. What are you doing with the windows?
All brand new, all hardwood timber.
Yeah.
Repainted.
Even the first floor with the big windows. Yeah.
38 grand.
Yeah.
For that floor, this floor, the new loft ones, and then the ones at the rear.
Another floor.
This is really where we added the value.
Yeah, this is the one you're expanding, right?
Well, I run a loft business, so I'm always looking for
I was going to say, this is your forte up here. So
obviously it looks a lot more open now than it did when it was all boarded up and, you know, a lot smaller. Now it's been opened up, you see a bit more of the space, but effectively all this is lost areas. But in here, I instantly saw that on the front you'll see this big brick curved wall. So above here is all space that we can achieve. So we're actually got planning now to remove all this on both sides of the spine wall. So now we can get 2 1-bedrooms up here where it's too small to use this space. But because this is all hidden behind the brickwork at the front, it means that we've got a nice bathroom in there.
So you're removing all of this and creating a bit of a flat roof with a dormer at the back?
2 dormers, stepped-in dormers on the rear, and then this bit here is all hidden by the brick facades. When you used to have HSBC, all this is usable space, so we just got planning to remove all that. To gain the extra space we needed to get 2 1-bed flats.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. 2 new windows.
Yeah.
Loads of Veluxes, solar panels on the roof.
Yeah.
AOV designed over the roof for nice, for smoke vent. And then all this space is reclaimed as well. Yeah. Which has got a flat roof dome going in.
Okay.
So it should be cool little flats up here.
Yeah.
Again, all the floor structure's sound.
Yeah.
So just remove. This is the only piece that stays, and then the other side, everything else is being removed.
Yeah. Do you do the architectural stuff in-house as well?
Well, that was, we've got 2 in-house architects who work for Skylofts. That was our biggest fall down on our last project, is that we thought we could try and save the 50 grand and do everything in-house, but we're just not doing the detailed drawings we need to for this size of scheme. And there's so many technically advanced pieces we need to get right, especially when you flood it with 20 people. You want to make sure that you've got, everyone can work together. And they don't want to be waiting on one person to make a decision, which what not having proper stage 4 drawings has stopped us doing. So now we've paid for a proper professional outfit who actually work alongside Marks and Spencers. They're excellent. They've come and done some excellent drawings for us, and we can just flood this with site with people over the next 4 or 5 months and get it done. So it should pay off.
Yeah, it's good.
Not many people can. I mean, like, you know, you obviously building Islington and stuff, but not many people can say they can have a block, you know, in the middle of the town centre that's
no, definitely,
been converted. But yeah, it's a good. Definitely, if you're up for it, you know, come back sort of.
No, definitely, we'll do.
Yeah, so one of the other things we're going to do is take the staircase out if we need to reclaim extra space. So that was our second exit. So if we didn't have enough to get this 1 bed and 2 bed, we'd have taken the staircase out, put a 3-box winder in. It would have cost more money, but again, would have been worth it. But fortunately, we can work with. We've got a new lobby going in here, and then we've got the doors off of that lobby.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's worked out.
It's worked out all right.
Got
to build the thing now.
No, getting there. So, what's the future for SW Homes? You got more? Do you want to take on more projects like this, or bigger ones? Yeah,
we're trying to find our niche, really. We want to find sites that are just too big for the smaller developer and that are really too small for the big guys, and just find our area, find the right investors that we can just continue working with, and then just keep building sites like this, really. I think theoretically, I think 10 to 20 unit schemes is going to be our sweet spot. But we are looking at sites of sort of 35 to 45 units. I think anything under 50 would be good, because it does open up an exit where we can try and go to an SRL or someone who, a social housing provider who actually wants to either lease it or buy it from us. But again, no one's got any money at the moment, so we'll stick to doing these smaller schemes, which come with a little bit less risk. And if we can build sort of 3 of these a year, I'll be quite happy as a developer, really. Yeah,
because I guess you're turning them around quite quickly as well. Right?
Yeah, so it's a sort of snowball effect. It's like you need more sites to go on to if you're going to build a big team. You don't want to break the culture, so you need the work, but you don't want to be overpaying. And I think the last 6 months, we bought 3 banks quite quickly within sort of 4 months, because there was a period of time where no one really knew the value of them, in my opinion. So we bought 3, and the last 6 months it's been quite difficult for us to buy, just because the cost of cash, really, and the development risks. I don't think that people are asking for too much for vacant buildings. So we've got quite a lot of offers out there. We're going to hang tight and sort of see out to the end of the year, and hopefully have a decent sized scheme that we can jump onto sort of early next year.
Okay, cool. And then in looking further afield, like 5 years, where would you like to be?
On a beach. To be honest, I want to try and build like an economy design flat, which works for the sort of 450 square foot, and I want to try and design a premium. And then I want to be able to look at sites that are coming through, hopefully social media and just off market, and we can put our bids out there and then press play, and then my team will pretty much work to the same format. That would be the ideal dream, because we don't do this. I mean, we do it to make money, but ultimately there's easier ways of making money, in my opinion, than property development. But it's just great fun. It's like playing Monopoly in real life. And if you can buy 3 or 4 of these a year, and it keeps you young and keeps your brain sharp, and there's always things to learn as well. Like, you never master property development.
Definitely.
When you think you've mastered something, another thing comes out from the woodwork, and add that to the appraisal document. But you just keep fighting, really, and keep going for it. And I've got a team a young team who are totally ambitious and want to go really far. So we'll just give them the tools to see how far we can go.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks for showing us around. This is great stuff you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
So guys, that's the end of this week's video. Stuart is now on his 4th conversion scheme in 3 years. That's really impressive. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you at the next one.